Hey, this is Daniel from Adorama. I'm here in Central Park in New York City on this beautiful fall day, and we're making some headshots of Sharina. So we want to get a few different looks here, you know, and looks for headshot aren't just necessarily change the shirt. Like, we want to mix it up a little bit. We're outside, so we're going to try to get some different backgrounds, some different feels. And the first thing she had kind of had some bright punch color to it. I actually wanted to put that against something dark, so I found a nice spot where there was some sun and a dark background. Well, you can see now there's no sun here because one of the problems or challenges that you have when you're working in natural light is it moves on you. So what I did was I basically had her stand at the edge of the light each time to get a nice kind of rim of light on the back of her hair, and then Dave was using the reflector to just feather the light in. Now, he was holding it up high and he was using the silver reflector and just kind of getting a little bit in there to brighten the eyes up and everything. You don't want to blast them in the face with the silver reflector. It doesn't look natural, right? We're trying to go for a natural look. I did bring my flashes with me, which we're probably going to end up using eventually, but whenever I can get away with using a reflector, I try to do that because it keeps it simple, it's fast, it doesn't draw a lot of attention. You know, we're in public, we don't want a bunch of gawking people around in the background. So, you know, I'm on it with the reflector, we can set up a little area, she's gonna change, we're gonna go to a couple of different spots and we'll show you what we get. So for the second shot, I decided to use a brighter background in order to contrast the wine-colored shirt. And what we did was we basically put Sharina here in the sun, and Dave's holding the middle part of a 5-in-1 reflector that creates a nice soft diffuser. And then we also had our makeup artist come in and hold just the floppy silver part on the other side just to give us a nice even light around her face. So for this next shot, we wanted something a little bit different. We've been shooting with a lot of trees and green and stuff, and we wanted to mix it up. So this is kind of a cool tunnel here in Central Park. It's got this kind of brick that's kind of aging, and there's a little bit of light kicking in from the side, adding a little bit of warmth and stuff. But the light here is kind of a little uneven and not perfect. So I just simply took the Profoto B2 with the 2-foot Octa. Dave just held it in his hand really simply, and I'm just using the flash to fill in a bit, kind of matching the exposure, but just a tiny bit under. So it kind of, you have to be careful when you're lighting like this because you can start to get double shadows if you're not careful. So we want to make sure this fill light essentially from this side is filling in enough to make it nice and even on our face because we don't want lots of shadows, but not so much as creating extra shadow. And that creates kind of a nice pretty light across our face with some drama. Okay, so I'm back at the studio. We finished. We got a bunch of looks outside. We even shot a few things in the studio too. And now I'm just kind of putting in the computer. I'm using Capture One as kind of my base to work with because I was shooting earlier tethered into it, so all my files are in the same spot. And I'm just exporting out some small JPEGs so she can take a quick look at all of them. I know Sharina, we've worked together a lot, so I just give her pretty much everything and let her kind of sort through it. If it's a new client, I recommend really editing down the pictures. All the ones where you were checking your exposure, all the ones with the blinking, all the ones with the making funny faces, get rid of those pictures. You don't want anybody to look at something that's terrible right off the bat. They're already going to be critical of themselves with a headshot, so it's nice to be able to give them at least competently exposed images for every single one they see, even though when we're testing stuff, obviously not every photo is perfect. But go through these, we'll throw some up. Thanks for watching. I'll put some of these on my Facebook too in full size so you guys can see it, Daniel Norton Photographer, so check me out there. Be sure to subscribe to Adorama TV, and I'll see you next time on set.